Hello there, and thank you very much for opening up this video. I really do appreciate it. I must also say a big thank you to all those people who've been sending me emails and making comments on the videos, which I really do appreciate. Now, today I'd like to talk to you about something which I found about last night, which I think is absolutely ludicrously, idiotically stupid. In some schools across the UK, they are actually measuring the BMI, the basal metabolic index of young children at primary school. This to me is absolutely stupid. Now, I know what they're going to say. They're going to say, we have to um, identify obesity early and do something about it to stop the child becoming overweight. That's what they're going to say. I'm going to propose an alternative, and I'm going to talk about the number one cause of obesity. Now, what the BMI is called, it's called the basal metabolic indicator. I can't even remember what it stands for now. To my mind, it would be called bloody misleading information. It's the weight in kilograms over the height squared, and the height in meters and centimeters. Now, the thing here is, it's absolutely stupid because, technically speaking, Arnold Schwarzenegger would be morbidly obese by way of the BMI scale. So would I, for that matter. I mean, you can see the site of in fact, let me just take this top off. This, you can see the size of my arms. Okay, I've got massive upper arms, but according to the scale, I would be morbidly overweight. Now the thing here is, I do something like 5 to 6 hours a week of 1 hour classes, which are high intensity interval training. So I'll tell you here and now, if they were to actually send me for a BMI scale or something like that, they'll be wasting their time. It's stupid. Now, the thing here is they are not addressing the number one cause of obesity, nor are they doing the things the right way. I'll deal with the number one cause of obesity later. It's poverty, which I'll detail in a minute. However, the definition of obesity is very simple. It is an unacceptable level of excess body fat which is sufficient to cause an impairment in the health or quality of life for that person. Notice I said for that person. Now the thing here is, so what would I deal with it? What would be better? Firstly, they need to address the poverty issue. That's out of the range of what do you call it, most schools. They can't do much about that. But what we can do is we can encourage people to be on multiple streams of income, something I get all my clients to do. I would also ask employers, if you can, give your staff a good wage. So irrespective of what business you're in, please pay your staff well. Okay. I would ask schools to encourage kids to walk to school, to cycle to school. At primary school, you really should be setting up the walking bus. Now, the walking bus is where you get 4 school volunteers and you go to one kid's house, pick them up. Then go to the next kid's house, pick them up. The next kid's house, pick them up. So by the time you go to school, you've got about 20, 30 kids. And then obviously you walk them back home after school. It gets them into good habits at a very early age, and guess what? It cuts down a hell of a lot of traffic. But that's a generational thing. It's going to take a generation to sort that out, and that will get kids walking to school. Obviously, we need to get kids cycling to school, and the safest way to cycle anywhere is always to cycle no less than 1 to 1.5 meters away from the curb. Cycling close to the curb is as dangerous as cutting your wrists. Um, Now, the other thing here, what I would also do is I would make sure the school meals are assessed by a nutritionist. I'll make sure there's adequate school sports. If I had my way, they'll be doing some form of exercise every day around about 11 o'clock, and then basically have what do you call it, lunch afterwards, and make sure those lunches are good school meals. The other alternative would be is to have a medical from the school nurse once every 4 months. Yes, I do accept there is a shortage of school nurses. I get that. And there needs to be some organisation here. But a medical from the school nurse once every 4 months would do a lot but more than this. Because for one thing, it would teach you, they could teach, that school nurse could teach young girls how to do a breast self-examination, bearing in mind that boys and men should be doing a breast self-examination once a month. Breast cancer can occur in men and women. That school nurse should be advising young boys to do a testicular self-examination once a month as well. And the other thing that should also be happening is, from a very early age, young girls should be taught pelvic floor exercises. That would be a better scenario. And I think with a bit of organisation, and yes, with an increase in staffing power, then that can be done. Let me tell you what my dad used to do with female relatives. Once a month, we'd have a family meal, and all female relatives, before they eat, had to go upstairs into the bathroom and do a breast self-examination. And once every 3 months, he'd get he'd check you himself. He was a doctor, so yeah, it wasn't to be pervy. It was just out of fatherly love. And all male members of the family had to do a testicular self-examination, and again, once every 3 months, he'd check. Not to be pervy, just out of fatherly love. Okay, it's simple as that. Now, what I'd like you to do is, if you go down below, you'll see a governmental petition to actually do away with this practice, and I would encourage you to sign it, and I'll be writing to the Department of Health to do something about this. Thank you very much for your time. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.